Hello everyone, my name is Sergey Kamensky. I have a lot of experience in risk management. I have worked in commercial and state banks over 10 years, and now I'm head of risks here in Cyprus, in Cyprus branch of Russian investment firm. And today I would like to share my point on tough negotiations with internal counterparty at work. Why did I choose this topic? Uh, by the nature of my work, I often have to negotiate with people who have elevated testosterone levels in their blood. I mean, kind of people like traders, sales, senior management. When we are trying to describe the behavior of such people, we usually say they are, he or uh, she is like a tank, for example. He is like a tank. Um, these people absolutely risk tolerant. Uh, uh, mm, Front office staff are willing to take so much risk that the firm simply will not survive after that. So my role as a risk manager uh, uh, to be the last line of defense for the firm. Mm. I often explain it to my front office colleagues uh, that the function of risk management in the firm it's like a brake in the car. Without brakes, the car can be very fast, but in the end, it will lead to a crash. The same story with business. I'm sure that a considerable number of employees have faced a similar situation in their work. Therefore, I believe that my presentation can be useful. Uh, I tried to break it into six simple but memorable slides, which, in my opinion, are most useful in practice. So let's start from the first one, how to measure the success of negotiations. Here I'm trying to give the right coordinates in order to adhere to the right course. Sometimes in in a difficult situation, we forget about the main our goals. In my opinion, the main questions in negotiations with internal counterparty could be the following: are the interests of business and shareholders respected? For example, uh, can negotiations downside the business? Of course, it's possible as a result of bad decisions. Uh, can relationships with people be affected as a result of negotiations? Yes, sure, they can. For example, can the level of motivation of subordinates increase or drop after negotiations? Yes, it is possible. And can my prestige and authority of the company suffer as a result of negotiations? Of course, but it can be changed in two ways. It can be weakened, but otherwise it can become stronger. So you should have in mind all these three coordinates: A. Interests of business and shareholders. B. Relationships with people and motivations. C. Authority. When negotiations are really difficult, uh, when your opponent has only one meter, his own benefit and his own interest. In this case, you have to be flexible. But first you need to determine the role. So we go to slide 2, understand the role. And the understanding of the roles is very important in negotiations. You have the advantage if you choose a stronger role than your opponent. For example, you can play the role of an expert or professor or doctor, etc. Just take a stronger positions. You understand? Expert, junior, professor, student, doctor, patient, policeman, perpetrator. It is desirable to be good at using this toolkit. Let's go to slide number 3. Be flexible. Let's return to the question about flexibility. Basically, what I wanted to say here is that we need to be concentrated during negotiations. Showing of empathy is great of importance. For example, if your opponent complains, is it bad or good? Of course it is good, because he prompts the solution that can be scaled if necessary. So you have to use it. You have to use it. Go to the next slide. Identify your zopa. It's a very funny word in Russian, but anyway, zopa means zone of possible agreement. That means that you have to be prepared to negotiations. You must always do your homework before. It is better to have pre-set up scenarios which can be accepted under certain conditions. Something like checkboxes. It's if so, then so. For example, with transaction budget, in what amount? I mean, what amount of transaction can be agreed? What budget can be agreed? On what factors it depends. Go further, slide number 5. Clearly know your authority and try to increase it. The questions you should ask yourself is the following. Do I have enough authority to sign this agreement? Can I fire this guy, for example, and hire a new one? Do I have such budget? You need to know the answers to these questions before you're saying yes or no in your negotiations. Slide number 6. The last but not least, the power of disinterest. The main point here as the following. Be prepared. It's important to anticipate the actions of your opponent and be ready to respond on it. Start second, finish first. The second place gives you an opportunity, an advantage to improve your position. Be sure that you have Batna. Batna means best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Otherwise, it's like in a poker game. You know that the most dangerous enemy is one who is not afraid of being killed. The strongest negotiator is one who has a very good alternative to negotiated agreement. So when you go to negotiations, you must have partner. Strengthen your position with mountain behind your back. In negotiations, like in a battle, it is easier to win if you are on top. That's what I wanted to say here. And be ready to be creative. That means that you should be open-minded. If you cannot share an orange, perhaps you can share fresh orange juice. Try to find hidden opportunity for a mutual beneficial solution. Win-win situation, it's all we need. It is all we need. Well, I think that covers everything that I wanted to say, and I hope it was useful. Take care. Good luck.